Hello and welcome back to Sinner's Rise. And unfortunately, like I hinted at the end of the previous part, this next step is gonna be a bit of a bitch. Especially because in the score of the first Sin edition, we actually bothered to add a few enemies into this area. And if I recall correctly, like, yeah, another Flexal Sentry, for example. This is bad news. Also, Kite Shield. Nope, nope, we're not doing this. We're so not doing this.
But apparently we are.
No, we're so not. I'm gonna get these later. These treasures later. Fuck! Get off of me! There's also these enemies which explode all over the place, so
Oh.
I need to be careful.
And you're slower in water too.
Yep. Great level design. To be fair, it's not on purpose to be challenging like this, but again, it's still it's a prerogative of you know of From Software to be this kind of dickish. Feral's Lockstone, cool. Because there you go. The Elden Ring is still maintaining the tradition strong, particularly with the poison dungeons. With you know, Miyazaki is admitting that he enjoys doing that just to troll the players.
It kind of reminds me of when Celeste was in development. At some point, they were making a water level, but it didn't end up in the game because the developers literally went, "Wait, why are we doing this? No one likes water levels," and just left it.
Fair enough. Alright, using the Bastille key, we can actually get on the higher parts.
That game is difficult enough anyway.
Yep. There you go. There's also someone inside. Sellsword Luet. We're gonna use him later because we're about to get one of the more challenging boss fights of the game. Not, well, at least for this stage. Also, I'm Mr. Skeleton. Skeleton? Yep, it sure is. Let's rate it. Don't give up, Skeleton. Aww. I mean, we all need to be ready for the Skeleton Wars at some point. There you go. We see a small shortcut, if I remember correctly. And let me try to go up on that other set. Especially because there's this other exploding enemy. There we go. Let's see what's in this room. Absolutely nothing. Okay, forgot actually. Let's see in this other one. Again with the Bastille key. Oh, there's an NPC. There's everyone will be I forgot the name. The knights get your fire seeds. Let's not disturb this guy. It's not worth it. In fact, let me see. Can I close the door? No. Okay. Using again the Bastille key on here, we can get on the other place. Okay. Before actually entering the fog gate, we're gonna do a small diversion to unlock something that makes the fight technically a bit easy. Again, like I mentioned, a cool thing about Dark Souls 2 is that a couple of the boss fights do have a layer of difficulty. You can just rush in, guns blazing, and potentially having a harder time, or you can explore a bit around the area and find a way to make the life easy overall for you. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. Smooth and silkstone. As you can see, there's this kind of oily, place here. So if we actually use one of our flame butterflies, which lights up our torch automatically without having to rest the bonfire, and set light here, there we go. We're gonna, create a chain reaction that will allow the room we're about to enter in to be more lit up, and actually allows us to see what actually is going on. Rather than otherwise we will be a bit more in the dark, and our lock-on function might not work properly on the boss. Again, it's a pretty neat trick and a very easy thing to do in our war system if you bother exploring, and you got the Bastille key from the previous dungeon. So that's pretty cool, actually. Let's also light this brazier up. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna summon that guy that I saw the sign before, and actually get to the boss. There you go, the Cell Sword Luet, a guy that fights with 2 shields because he doesn't give a fuck. Look at him, it's amazing. Alright, let's go. Come on, Luet. Don't... Yeah, there you go. Just follow me and don't be discouraged by the enemies. There you go. Let's hope also that this pathway doesn't actually make him fall into the water. Vision of sadness. Alright, let's go. And behind this fog gate is a particular boss. Connected with a bug and an iron mask. And a giant ass blade. Apparently they have the courtesy of giving weapon to prisoners in this room. Sure. This is the Lost Sinner. There you go. And again, since I bothered to actually light up the room, it's perfectly, you know, properly lit and allows me to see properly and lock on to the boss rather than being potentially, you know, stunned and not being able and potentially being able to be ambushed by her actually. Luet is gonna, you know, function as the typical, you know, baiting the boss kind of. It should be, you know, resilient enough. Fun fact. In New Game Plus, this fight is actually harder because along with the Lost Sinner, there are gonna be a couple of other enemies that spawn randomly at the beginning of the fight. So it's interesting they actually, you know, put the challenge for the for New Game Plus alone. The problem with this boss also is that having a two-hand sword allows, you know, ample swings, which means even if I'm attacking her from behind, I'm gonna be hit potentially anyway by her swing. Come on, Luet, heal! Heal up! Otherwise you're gonna be dead very soon. No, I guess you're gonna decide to stay until the end. Oh, come on, even stabbed? Staggered. Well, he's almost dead. And there he is. Alright, I guess it's just you and me. Fuck. Fuck. Almost dead.
Dodge rolling is your friend.
Yes. It's more apparent here in Bloodborne than in here. In the Dark Souls game and Elden Ring by extension, it's more encouraging for you to use your shield, you know, to parry things up. But otherwise, instead, in Bloodborne, you're instead not encouraged, but practically obligated to just, you know, dodge roll, because you don't have much form of protection, and instead it's more of a dance, another type of dance that you and the enemy do.
Parrying is something I'm never good at in video games.
It's a matter of timing, so if it's not something someone is proficient at, it's understandable how, you know, it might not work. A couple of swings. Again, it's all about getting into the groove and having patience more than anything.
I mean, I have a lot of patience, so that probably helps.
When it comes also to, well, to be fair, you're also proficient still in, you know, in action games to some degree, like Splatoon. So it's not even a matter of the heat of a moment where you need to take critical decisions. This is why I tend to be also relatively more into turn-based RPGs, because I prefer to be a strategist and plan my moves ahead rather than, you know, having to take split-second decisions. I know that there's more of a thrill for that, but I prefer to be more methodical. Where the... Oh, there we go. I think lost. Come on, get here.
Has there been anything of significance that I missed?
I'm actually on good track to beat the boss, Libs.
Oh,
But I might as well ask you, since it's a tradition at this point. So,
Yeah.
in the meantime between parts, have you seen any particular movies in cinemas?
I've seen the recent Dragon Ball.
Superhero. How was it?
Yeah, superhero. Literally, that's the name.
Super Dragon Ball!
It was fine.
Okay.
I
heard
was
that
able to follow it okay.
I heard that they finally, put more of a spotlight to Piccolo and Gohan. Finally.
Yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, that Goku was like he was in like one scene.
And it also continues the plot line of the Red Ribbon Army. Again, it seems that the world of Dragon Ball cannot catch a break from those guys.
And CG.
How is it?
Okay, basically the CG approach it takes is if it's like, okay, I'm trying to explain it. It's
Go ahead.
It's still got the 2D art style, but it's in 3D,
Yeah.
and it's mostly okay.
Alright. How was the music?
I thought it was fine.
So, out of the Dragon Ball OVAs that you've seen, what is your favorite, I guess? Might as well ask.
Superhero.
It's the only one. Oh, you haven't seen any ever?
No, I remember my experience with the franchise is like the first 26 odd episodes of Dragon Ball.
Which Predator showed you, yes.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Ooh, we still need a generation of that. There you
Ew.
go, first try.
And season.
Sure, I did the summon, but at least after the fight I did it alone, so... Cool, we actually got one of the greater souls of the game, we're actually at a good point, so let's give it a look, shall we? The Soul of the Lost Sinner. Soul of the Lost Sinner, prisoner of Sinner's Rise. The Lost Sinner eternally punishes herself for the sins of her past. Wonder what happened to her.
That's not healthy.
Nope, not at all. Crawling in my crawling, this crawl will not crawl. So let's open the room she was guarding and see what happens. Each time we defeat one of these bigger bosses, we get some kind of reward, in this chest, so no mimics, thankfully for this. Fragrant Branch of Yore and Elizabeth Mushroom, that's pretty cool. And we get to light a particular bonfire that will send us back to... don't give up Skeleton again. Send us back to Majula. But if I recall correctly... There we go, actually, no, I don't think... a primal bonfire was rekindled, there you go. Okay, it's not gonna happen now immediately, but in Scholar of the First Scene edition, they did added a couple of extra things that are connected to these great bonfires. But again, the good news is that we're actually starting to have a very good progress, and we're gonna have the amount of souls. And we're not gonna spend them now, because what I need to do now is to unlock another path. By going into a specific direction. But first, well, let's go to the cartographer, why not? Just to see the progress on the map. For funsies. There we go.
Even more flames have appeared. I don't know what causes it.
Also, fun fact, it took a long time, but finally in in Elden Ring, it seems that all NPCs, even in not cutscenes, actually bother to actually speak with their mouth moving, rather than just standing still like that. Again, it's interesting how From Software went cheap and only had a few NPCs that did that until that point. Alright, if you remember correctly, back in the Tower Flame of Hyde, we did found this cleric, which, well, just wanted to sell stuff, but here we find her at this place that has the contraption that does not move. So maybe she can help us with that.
Oh, hello there. An honor to see you again. This room is not as it seems. There are two, not one,
We've seen that.
leading out. And only this lovely thing reveals the other path.
Is it like that? Is it like that game that the
Only runs
Sorry.
on miracles.
Is it like that game when the nostalgia critic was taking the piss out of Angry Video Game Nerd? Was that one with that weird bookshelf?
No. Anyway, she actually, Licia has told us that this thing moves only with miracles, and we need to basically pay her 2,000 souls to actually move beside the head. But it's pretty clear as day that she's just trolling us, and she just has the key to this contraption. And I know what you're thinking. Well, can't we just, kill her and get the key for ourselves? Not as easy, because many players fall into this easy trap, but she's actually very powerful, so an early game player will completely get butt fucked by this. So for the time being, we need to oblige with her and just pay that little amount of souls that she's asked. Yeah, well, praise whatever. Let's move. Rogue water. Let's see where this path leads to. I forgot specifically where this leads. Oh no, I think I know where this leads. A bit, if I recall correctly. Okay, I don't think this is... Well, this is gonna ultimately help us still, but if I remember correctly, it could have been better, where we're supposed to go. Oh, hello there, and who you might be on this chair.
I don't know who you are, but believe me,
Just a random chair, that's suspicious.
the frailty of the weak disrupts.
One sit in it.
Leave me, and I'm interested in one thing. Dark.
Okay, someone is brooding, let's just leave him there.
I mean, didn't they leave me alone, so... Okay.
We're the Huntsman's coping. There you go. This is a place where the undeads were mercilessly hunted by a local king, and it's not pretty what they did to them. But we'll just see soon enough what this place is capable of doing. Alright, there we go. If I recall correctly, yes, shit! This place is also crawling, at least the caves are crawling with these mobs that loves to shit poison on us all over the place because they have nothing better to do.
Wow, moths are already shit on their own.
But Shiri, we're supposed to be pretty.
I don't care. They eat your clothes.
Well, some type of moth. The ones that are just attracted to regular light, they tend to be harmless. But...
the ones we get here are often the clove-eating kind.
Oh, we do have them still. It's just that they're not like always on that type.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, if I recall correctly, there is a possibility of jumping down, but I'm not gonna take it. I'm just gonna... Dude, are you okay? Yeah, let's do this. Okay, we'll say this. The imagery is striking like this, so it's pretty cool actually, how the pathway towards the level is constructed. Again, it's just that sadly this level is a bit of a bitch, but you will see just soon enough how dickish can it get. Alright. Especially because, okay, we are well equipped for the task at the very least, so there is that. But I probably should have taken up my torch. Alright, no, I'm supposed to actually, slash away the... there you go, the windows. There you go. And if I recall correctly, there's an enemy behind this door, so let's try to... Shit. And I did not renew my flasks. Fuck, I forgot about that too. Come on, get out. There we go. Be wary of sniper, of course. So still speaking of movies, Wibs. Oh, I guess you're BRB again.
What? No, I'm here.
Sorry. Are you gonna go see Black Adam when it comes out? Just to know.
Yeah, I'll see it.
I am interested in it too. Still a shame with all of that weird shit that is currently happening with Warner Bros. And Discovery. But I do have hopes for the high hopes for the movie. What? Oh, great ambush.
Like, I'm interested to see how Pierce Brosnan plays the bad guy.
Especially like he said in the past, Dr. Fate is not supposed to be a bad guy on his own, so we'll have to really see how things play out.
I mean, apparently he's given a helmet to Fate. Yeah, that sounds totally that totally doesn't sound like a red flag.
Okay, it's more complicated than that, Lives. In the comic, that element helps him to attune with particular powers of the divine origin. This is why probably was chosen for the movie like Black Adam, because similar to Shazam, Black Adam origins of power is divine in nature. So, again, you have to remember that the DC Universe, and by the extension also the DC Extended Universe, operates on the logic that magic and divinity are two things very separated from each other.
And hey, if the film flops, then they could just tax write off it.
God, I still hope that I kind of feel sorry for the developer of Multiversus, because they seem to be doing a decent job so far, but because of this old debacle with Warner Bros. And Discovery, the position might be on jeopardy. I hope they're gonna be doing fine.
Well, that's the thing, though. These Warner Brothers' handling of the DCEU has been even more shambolic than it was before.
That is true, Dwibs. I'm talking just about the recent events with Discovery fucking things up even more.
Yeah, well, I'm talking strictly DCEU because one of their films is flat out never going to see the light of day.
Which one? I forgot. Oh, right, Batgirl.
Batgirl, because they tap straight off it.
One has been plagued terribly by the behavior of the actor.
Yeah, the Flash, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That whole.
And now we're just pretending everything is fine.
Yeah, it's that scene where Leslie Nielsen's standing in front of a building with fireworks coming out of it, and he's like,
"No, it's the dog.
Nothing to see here, please."
Everything's fine. It's always fine.
The method I use to watch movies in the cinema means I don't have to pay money to see a single film, so I'll probably just go see it. Why not?
Is that like a theater subscription thing or something?
Yeah, that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I mean, truth be told, that subscription fee is gonna go towards anything anyway. So yeah, and again, I feel really bad for Andy Muschietti, the director, because he's come off 2 It movies, and now here he is. He gets to make a superhero movie, and it's got all this shit going on post-production that he can't really control.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Yeah,
it's also kind of sad because it's kind of extended throughout the entirety of the DCAU, because I still stand what I said for Wonder Woman 84, in a sense that despite everything, Gal Gadot is, probably the best in terms of looking, personality and everything for the role of Wonder Woman, despite her terrible behavior on social media,
Have they fired the other one yet?
Ezra Miller? Nope.
No. Hood. Have they fired?
Oh, Amber.
Yeah.
The only thing we heard is that supposedly her scenes in Aquaman 2 are very minimal and inconsequential, but my question is why don't you just cut them at that point?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I mean, yes, I know people are gonna always bring up. Well, why don't they just pull a all the money in the world and excise it? I mean, it's not always as simple as that.
No, it's...
There are contracts and stuff.
Yeah, there's contracts, and not to mention there's just practicality as well. Like I mean, if the scenes you were in were really important to the movie, I mean, you can't just cut her out.
Not to mention, she said he's supposed to be still an important character, you know, for the mythos.
And reshoots aren't always an option.
Alright, if I can create with a bonfire here, there we go. Finally. This is gonna make us avoid a bit of backtracking, but don't worry, the dungeon is just about to be, you know, becoming even more of an asset. And yeah, we can even unlock a shortcut here with the tree. Timber!
When was it supposed to come out?
Aquaman?
Aquaman 2.
This year. You did mention that originally DC and Warner Bros. had plans to make 5 movies being released this year.
Yeah, it was supposed to be releasing this December, but now it's coming out next December. I mean, the first delay was to March next year because Warner Brothers delayed it because of both COVID and its effect on the workload of the visual effects team.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got pushed to December because Warner Brothers Discovery tried to spread out marketing and distribution costs. Well, I mean, maybe you wouldn't have. I mean, maybe you wouldn't have had to do that if you hadn't kept. If that disastrous attempt to try and save money just cost you more money.
What I don't understand instead is why they have, you know, put the access so much on HBO Max stuff, and not just the cartoon division, a lot of stuff, you know.
It's like, what the hell happened?
No, that's the thing, Shiri. Discovery has currently its own streaming service, Discovery Plus, you know. And my question is, why didn't they merge them both? You know, why instead of, you know, cutting from it, they didn't add onto it? That's my question.
Because David, what's his name, is at war on.
Yeah, the new director, I forgot what he's called.
The new guy in charge of the whole thing. Okay, I mean, okay, contrary to what people on Twitter would think, I think to single out a single thing to single out a single medium that's being cut solely because you really love it so much, I think it's kind of counterproductive, and not to mention it kind of I think it's kind of
dangerous thinking.
Yeah, and it's also ignoring a lot of everything else. Like, I mean, I get it, you really like animation, but that's not the only thing being targeted here.
There we go. Monastery Charm and the Soul of a Proud Man. Jesus Christ, these fucking monsters! Spreading all their
go.
They're fucking That's the thing, I don't even wanna waste my arrows on them.
What?
I forgot this thing is under here.
Wait, what?
Giant basilisk. Oh man.
Oh!
Oh, are we in the Chamber of Secrets now?
Let's go with
It's a friend.
No, it's not Shiroi. It's not. And I got poisoned. Oh my god, what is wrong with this game?
It's Dark Souls, bitch.
It's the Dark Souls experience. I'll bend over. Break this level design. No.
Oh god, those eyes! What the
That's the thing, Shiroi. They're basically a faking distraction. The real beast eyes are under it, and they're very, very tiny. And I even need to stay up, watch out of this thing's breath, because if you forgot in the first game, this thing inflicted the curse debuff, which is extremely dangerous. if you're not careful. And in this it's not that much better. Oh my god, I'm so gonna kill all these mobs eventually. Die, you thing! Die! There you go. You got a torch. A large titanite shard. That's cool. And let's see what's in the chest. Ricard's rapier. Again, I don't really have much of a use for rapiers, but sure it's appreciated. And we unlock this particular, stone, which leads us back, if I recall correctly, to the previous part of the area. Be wary of lesser foe in short left. Okay. Large soul of the soldier. There you go. Okay, I think I'm gonna return to Majula at the bonfire, just so I can spend these souls for a productive purpose. Alright, where does this leave me? Forgot. Right, illusion involved. There you go. I'm actually at this place. Okay, cool. There you go. Still, the point that we're getting at is that again, Black Adam is coming soon, and it looks pretty interesting. There you go. Where was I? I hope that, considering also the stuff that is happening with Legendary Pictures, I hope that Denis Villeneuve, Dune Part 2 is not affected too much by it.
Well, I mean, given what's going on, the Warner Brothers are having a hard time attracting anybody. Because I mean, can you blame them? You could literally almost finish a project and they'll tax write off it because they need to save it. Because I mean, hell, they can't even do that right. They tried to tax write off a bunch of things to save money, but it ended up costing them more money.
It's a shame because Denis Villeneuve cannot catch a break. He tried to revive Blade Runner with 2049, which is a great movie, but unfortunately, between the marketing and the fact that the interest in the brand name was not as strong as they thought, it did not perform well. Thankfully, he did catch a break, thankfully, with a bit with the first part of Dune, but that's mostly because of European, reception, because here the David Lynch movie is actually very highly regarded, so it's kind of sad that now Part 2 is potentially in jeopardy.
Well, I mean, so far, things don't seem to be going badly for Dune's filming, at least.
Especially because, again, it wasn't supposed to be released this year anyway, so...
Yeah. So yeah, provided David Zaslav doesn't decide, actually, you know what, fuck Dune, I'm gonna tax write off it and save $10.
There's a tax for that.
And try and save $10 and lose 500 million. It should be okay.
Okay, let's use this time to consume a bit more souls. While I'm doing that, can you guys check... can you check your timer sheet, right? Tell me how much time we spent.
Yep, 1 second.
Doing this for 1 second.
I have to magnify the screen. Only 34 minutes.
Okay, we're good to go for a bit more.
Well, speaking of anime films, since you mentioned it.
Go ahead.
A few months ago, I saw the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie.
I don't think I saw it, so I cannot...
I didn't. It's a prequel to the anime TV series going on at the minute. I didn't like it.
Okay.
It felt to me like it was supposed to be a prequel series, but they had to turn it into a movie and bit sadistic.
Interesting.
Which is a shame, because I mean I like the dog cat in it.
There we go. Now with this specific, give me stuff.
Yeah, that's another thing I've been noticing recently. VAs, VAs that I like, but the first project I hear them in is not very good.
It happens, sadly.
Yeah, no, I've had it again with Tri-Set Zero with Kaylee McKee voicing the lead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Well, that's the thing. This isn't. It's not like that. It's not like that's her first role or anything. It's just. Well, I think it's definitely the first one that's got a theatrical release. Because lately anime films have been getting bigger releases than they normally would.
Yeah. Normally, okay, it has started happening with stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of the Dimension Regiment Country, but a lot of anime, a lot of particular anime OVAs, did started receiving limited theatrical release for like 2-3 days. This year in particular was like a celebration for Studio Ghibli stuff, so throughout the summer they got re-released, which is a good sentiment. Sadly, ultimately undermined by the fact that they are the more recent dubbed version, which have great voice actors, but sadly new terrible script of translation courtesy of one guy that I did mention in the past, but is not good at translating stuff.
I do like that anime in general is just like, well, sorry, anime movies in general are just, you know, getting more stable theatrical releases internationally. It's just nice to see.
Well, me personally, it's just kind of a shame I've been kind of looking out on a lot of them because the ones I can remember off the top of my head that I've seen was this I forgot the name. It's this anime musical, which I thought was
K-On! No, okay, it's a music. So go on. I'll guess later.
It's a theatrical film. It's basically about this robot that befriends a schoolgirl.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know.
It's really singing, which I thought was fine. Then there was the recent My Hero Academia movie, which I thought was just kind of bleh. Again, it's the villains. That's what.
Yeah, you did mention it.
Especially the freaking henchmen. Seriously, when I'm comparing Final Fantasy VII Advent Children positively to something, especially when it's the villains, something's gone wrong. Then there was this other movie that takes place in a fictional fantasy world where shit's bad and there's a bit of a plague going about and there's these wolves that chase people down.
I think I heard the premise, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time. Yeah, it's felt like such a great impression if I can't even remember it.
When right as the first wave of the plague of COVID started, there were two movies that actually was supposed to see in theaters with a limited theatrical release anime. One was Lupin the First. You know, the CG Lupin the Third movie, which they told me it's great, and I kind of really wish to see it on a big screen. Especially because in my country, they have a tendency of using still the same voice actors of the old series and all. The only major exception being the one specifically for Lupin, because he passed away in the mid-2000s, sadly. But the replacement they got is fine. The other was this movie called Hello World, I think it's called, which, you know, it's another one that, breaks the line between, reality and something else weird. Again, similar in themes to a couple of Makoto Shinkai movies.
Speaking of Lupin, the third, I've started watching one of the series.
Mm-hmm.
The Fujiko Mine one.
Oh, that's the more adult-oriented one. It's more similar in spirit to the original manga of Monkey Punch, because originally the Lupin stories were basically kind of adult books, not in a sense that they were, erotic novels, but they did contain allusions and, explicit terms to sexuality. And the Fujiko series reflects it a bit more than the regular series, which instead was more campy.
Because it was part of a buy one get one free deal on an anime website that sells it through physical media. I also got the Lupin the Third anime that's based in Italy.
Yeah, I think it's the 5th series. Don't
Yeah,
call me entirely on
because
that.
although the funny thing is they had to release it in 2 separate versions because they based it off different things. The English version is actually based off the original Italian airing because it aired in Italy first.
Yeah, you have to remember, Dweebs, one thing. My country has a lot of passion, had a passion for a lot of anime, but Lupin the Third is actually one of the bigger ones. Like, Monkey Punch did not expect this to balloon this much in my country. So it got to the point where they dedicated an entire series for us and they premiered in my country. Because why
Whereas,
not?
and then they also had another release made for. They also released a Japanese version as its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the English version's based off the Italian one.
Sadly, it did not happen the same thing with the adaptation of Vento Aureo, the 5th part of JoJo, which is set also entirely in Italy. But I'm not complaining, it's still great.
I've also been watching this romance anime series called Emma, the Victorian romance.
I haven't heard of it.
Basically, it was a dub. The dub for it was funded through Kickstarter, and it uses since the show set in Victorian England. What they did was they cast a few English expatriates. I mean, ones that are like living in the States or might have been based in Britain using remote recordings. But they've also got quite a few other ones from New York, because you might have heard a few of them in like 4Kids productions, like Ted Lewis, for example. He's basically using a slightly toned down Bakura voice.
Okay.
And he plays the main male lead. Basically, Emma's about this maid who is trying to find a place in the world.
Okay, guys, there's a shiny inside this particular, tent, house, cave thing. Should we go get it?
No.
Yes.
Okay, let's do the usual.
It's shiny, take it.
Alright, chums, let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Shiny is a trap, no!
It really wasn't.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sure, there's still people to kill inside, but...
But what if Morningstar is code name for if you touch this, you die?
That would be an interesting code name.
I don't know how you'd fare with these games, because I feel like you'd just avoid picking up anything.
Why would I want to pick up random things I find lying about in the street? Who does that?
I mean, in video games, I prefer to take the fuck around and find out approach.
I'm not touching.
That's actually the spirit, Shiro. Learning through hardship and trial. Oh!
And
Oh no, I got
blood, sweat,
invaded!
tears.
Oh no! No! Why I got invaded by Forlorn? You piece of garbage, go away! I'm not in the mood for this.
Not today. It's too early for this.
You hoping that because this game is quite old nowadays, you wouldn't be invaded?
That's actually a bot NPC, not a player.
Ah.
I'm guessing the red is a tell for
Yes.
that.
Well, no, the red is for invaders in general, for regular
Oh.
invaders in general. It's the name that's an indication, because if they have a fancy, shiny name, it's, definitely just an NPC bot.
Can you
But
turn them off?
no. It got to the point, I can tell you that it got to the point where Elden Ring actually does this as a mechanic. Essentially, it cuts the shit to the root. By activating or deactivating specific stones near the equivalent of bonfires, you can set off, the online play, quote-unquote, equivalent. So, it disables invasion, but the trade-off is that it cannot summon even NPCs if you're, for fights. So I think it's a fair trade overall. Die! Jesus, I don't want to waste time with you. Anyway, keep going, Dweebs. I forgot what you were saying.
And I was done.
Okay. There we go. I seem to be doing a bit more damage with the, stabbing motion. No! There we go. Ugh. Alright, let's see. Do I at least get something out of this? Yeah, human effigy. Fair enough. Alright, how do I get back on track? Right, this is where I came from. Right, I'm supposed to get up on the hill.
This is where I came from. That sounds like a bad that sounds like one of those rip-off games like would be like a Shadow the Hedgehog. This is where I came from.
This is where I come in.
Yeah, I'm copying up. Those Crash Bandicoot. Okay. How in the hell has Activision not sued whoever made that disguised Android version for Crash of the Type?
I don't know, Dwebs.
And what was it, that fast forward functionality? The one that makes the game garble.
Again, the Android and App Store and iOS Store are infamous for, you know, being poor in quality control. Sorry?
Having no standards.
And no quality control whatsoever, yeah. Oh, hi doggy. Bye doggy. Why did they gotta solo and aim the soldier by a dog?
Oh, why not?
This is like in the first game where you get humanity from rats. Alright, now that lever raised this particular bridge if I remember correctly. But first let's clean the enemies in the area. If there's any left. Praise the sun? Why? There's nothing here to praise. Alright. Especially because if I recall correctly, I'm gonna start being ambushed by particular enemies around this time. Nothing I'm particularly looking forward to.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm probably gonna be ambushed by particular enemies this time, and of course it's locked and there's a bonfire in Levin! Levin!
What? I'll come in.
Yes, there we go. For the time being, let's proceed on to this particular path. Let me see if someone dropped behind me, because we have some of these bandits enemies have a tendency of just waiting until I'm at a certain position and then drop behind me. There we go. Okay, let's see where this leaves. Oh my god, I got invaded again! I can't believe this!
No way. I can't believe.
I don't have time for this, Miss Rowena. There we go. I guess that's the way, going hyper-aggressively towards the enemy. And I got a human effigy. Undead lock-away key. If I recall correctly, this is what I need. Item ahead, sure. Don't think it's the case of having to jump here from the ledge. Again, some of these messages out to troll. Well, no, okay, there is a tiny ledge. So let's give it a slight nudge. Fuck! Fuck it! God damn it! God damn. Alright, I'll go on ahead as much as I can, but when Shuri gets back, we're ending the part at that point.
I also rebought
Go ahead, yeah.
Zack Snyder's Justice League on Blu-ray because
Why not?
I mean, we're probably gonna commentate on it soon eventually.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, it's on the block, so...
At
Again,
the very least, I have the disc version, so at least it won't bother or anything.
does it have both versions of the movie, as in one giant block and the four-parter that it was originally conceived as?
It's all in one big block.
Okay, well, fair enough again.
You know, it's 4 hours long with barely any reason to be. It's just not a very good story in general. I mean, in some ways, Zack Snyder's Justice League feels worse because it's longer.
Well, at the very least, okay, what do you think it as in being in relation to Joss Whedon's version?
It's more consistent than the Whedon version.
I forgot that because I actually don't know. Did the whole thing about the Russian family that was in the climax of the Joss Whedon's version was a thing for that version, but it's not present in Zack Snyder's version?
Yeah, the Russian family are nowhere to be seen.
Which makes sense.
Also, yeah, that scene in Justice League, as people call it, where Lois and Martha are talking in the Daily Planet.
I see, yes.
Well, basically, that was basically a reshoot of a scene in the Zack Snyder version, where it's a lot where they're talking in her, I guess in Martha's flat, and well, I mean, should I even spoil it at this point?
Go ahead, Liv. It's not a problem.
It's a movie that's not going to get a sequel. Basically,
No.
she wasn't. Basically, Lois wasn't even talking to Martha.
Oh, it was more of a... She was like wishful thinking or something?
No. It was basically Martha quote in the movie was actually this Martian Manhunter guy.
Right, she was just Martian Manhunter in disguise, I forgot.
Which I'm like, why?
Because David Goyer hated the character, so they wanted to give him a role.
But why do that? In this movie, it just comes off like, oh, wait, this guy's just randomly coming in listening to people's conversations? That's creepy.
It's like that... It's like that gag on Family Guy. Who the fuck start a conversation like that? I just sit down.
Yes, it's something like that, pretty much. Except it's not meant to.
Start a conversation like what?
You're just in time, Sherry, because we're basically ending things up. Because again, I actually went forward a bit, but I think it's time. It's again, this requires a bit of prepping and a bit of cleanup. So join us in the next part, where I tackle the rest of the Huntsman Corps, and because there are two bosses in the area, believe it or not. So I'm gonna need to do some prepping for this. So until then, see ya.
Yeah.
See ya.